Hello, welcome to Record Time. My name is Mina, and I'm so happy to be here with you. Record Time is a weekly Akashic experience where we explore simple and mysterious themes through the lens of the Akashic Records. And if you're new or are unsure what the Akashic Records are, I invite you to check out my website, minaruchi.com. And there's lots of videos where I'm channeling from the records just like this, or videos where I'm explaining what the records are, what a reading is, all kinds of good stuff. So that's a great place to dive into if you're curious. But for right now, if it's safe and accessible, I invite you to just take a moment to arrive and settle into wherever you are right now. And if you're multitasking, please devote your attention to whatever else it is that you're doing. But otherwise, if it's safe, you can close your eyes. And breathe at your own pace. You can take a moment to bring your awareness to how you're breathing right now. You don't have to change it. Just notice it. If it would feel good to breathe differently than you are right now, you can just make a micro adjustment. Maybe exhale a little bit longer, or inhale a little more deeply. Feeling yourself just drop in to right now, wherever you are. Simply by reconnecting with your breath. Okay, so this week the records have a really sweet reminder for us. And perhaps by the time you're seeing this, right, you're already in the midst of holiday celebrations and travels and all kinds of things, preparations. And in the midst of this busy season where many of us are spending more time with our families, with people that we don't usually spend our day-to-day lives with, there's extra things to do. There's a lot going on. There's more stimulation than we might be used to. In the midst of all of this, the records are inviting us to gift ourselves deep acceptance for ourselves. And that is an important part of this. The invitation is to gift yourself deep acceptance of yourself, not of the situation, not of other people, but can you offer that to yourself? And the reason that they're offering us this reminder at this time during this holiday season is because if you're a personal development enthusiast, if this is something you like to do, if you watch this series, then it's likely that personal growth, self-discovery, right, personal development, evolution, all of those themes might really resonate with you. That might be something you're passionate about, or that is important to you, something that you value, something that you like to do with your time and energy and money. So if you tend towards this desire to develop yourself, to become a better person, to become a truer version of yourself, whatever that might mean to you. What the records are offering us is at this time where it's most hectic, and this is true at any busy season, right? Any time of the year, any moment in your life, any season of life that's very hectic or very confronting in any way, that could potentially be triggering. They're reminding us to return to self-acceptance, and not as another thing to do. Because this time, if you're enthusiastic about personal development, it can often feel like spending time with family, right? Going home for the holidays or hosting people, whatever it is. It can often feel like that is like the personal development Olympics, where it's like, I've been doing all of this work all year long, and now I'm really going to put it to the test. I've been meditating all year long, trying to stay calm, whatever, and now I'm really going to see, what I'm made out of. Did that practice work or did it not? Whatever it might be. And I'm laughing because I think it's inherently kind of ridiculous, but it's so true. And I've been there too. And it's so tempting to get caught up into that mindset of like, this is just going to be one big test. I'm just going to see how good I've gotten, how well I can control myself, how well I can regulate my emotions, how well I can stay calm in the midst of chaos, everything. And really what the records are offering us is something radical, which is let it all go. Let it all go specifically for this time. And that might seem so like counterintuitive, or it's like, oh, but isn't this really like where, you're tested? And the records are sharing like, this isn't a test. It's not a test. And I know that language is really popular in, kind of like neo-spiritual circles and all, personal development, like whatever, lingo. There's all this lingo of like, oh, it's just a test. The universe is testing you. And they're saying, in this perspective, what if there were no tests? And what if it just was? Like, what if life is just life and there's no tests? And to really give yourself deep permission to unhook from the idea that anything is testing you and that you just have permission to exist as you are. And what a radical concept that might be, especially with all of the other messaging we get around topics like this. And so really, it's like, if you have a practice that you've been doing that is your daily practice or your regular practice, you don't have to stop doing that, right? If you have a daily practice every day, keep doing that. If you'd like to, if it feels good, if that's what you would be doing, do that practice. It's not give up all the things that you would do and just like whatever. You don't have to give it up in that sense. But what they're asking us to divest from, to let go of, is the idea that the holidays or spending time with family or a stressful situation is a test of some sort. Because it doesn't have to be that. Yes, it might test your patience, but it's not like something that you have to pass in order to prove a point. And like really be aware of this. This is nothing that's happening. And you can play inside this perspective, and maybe this does not resonate with you, and that's A-okay. If it feels like a test and that like gets you through this like situation, that's great. You can definitely think whatever you want to think. But inside this perspective that we're just playing inside of right now is, what if it was not a test? And what if there was nothing to prove? And to really like notice if there's any kind of tendency or even eagerness to be like, when something chaotic happens, when this person says this, or when this inevitably goes wrong or whatever, I'm gonna be so good. I'm gonna be so centered. I'm gonna not like let my emotions get out of hand. I'm going to really just keep it all together. And notice if that's something that's there somewhere in your conscious or subconscious. If that kind of approach is present, just witness that. Become aware of that. And ask yourself, what would it be like if I gave myself deep permission to just be as I am? What if this whole busy season was actually not a test or an exam or any kind of ground in which I have to prove something? What if it just was? And what if I gave myself permission to be as I am? And it might look like, even though I have done all of this work on myself, I still got upset. This person still annoyed me. This didn't go the way I wanted and it bothered me. It made me sad or angry or whatever. Can you be with that? Can you let yourself be upset or let yourself be imperfect? That's really the invitation here. And that's what they mean. Can you gift yourself deep acceptance of yourself? And to bring that acceptance inward, because it's so tempting to just kind of use all of this like personal growth stuff and be like, just accept everything as it is. I'm okay with whatever happens. I'm surrendering, whatever. And those are great. You can still do all that stuff. But remember to offer that acceptance to yourself too. Like, even if I am not as perfect or as regulated or as centered or calm as I wish I was, I'm going to accept myself anyway. What would that be like? What would that feel like? What does it feel like to just even hear that kind of permission be offered to you through the records right now? That this is not a test. That you don't have to prove anything. You're still a good person, even if some people get on your nerves, and even if you let it show. The goal of this is not to repress how you actually feel. Right? That's not what any of this work is really about. So, like, really sit with this. This is not the personal growth Olympics. This is not a test. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I think it's important because this is such a sneaky one. It can almost feel exhilarating to arrive at a difficult situation and be eager to prove yourself, to prove to everyone else how much you've grown. Look at me, I've done so much work. Look at me, look how good I've gotten at this. Look how calm I've gotten. I used to get mad and now I don't, whatever. What would it be like to just let yourself be as you are? And to give yourself the acceptance that you might be looking for from other people, to just gift it to yourself first, unconditionally. Whether you think about any personal development things during this time or not, to just give yourself deep permission to react instead of respond, to get upset instead of stay calm, to whatever, to just be a human. What would it be like to welcome in your humanity, your humanness, your imperfection with open and loving arms? What would that be like? How might your experience shift? And inside all of that, right, this like letting go, there's a trust in everything that you've done before this moment, where you've done so much work. If you've been doing this, if this is your hobby and this is something that you've been interested in, this is something you've been putting your effort into, your practice, your personal like discovery kind of work, if that's something you've been doing all year, then at this moment, it's safe to just let go and trust that everything that you've invested in, all the work that you've done is there with you. It's coming with you. And you don't have to strive to make it appear or to prove that you did it. It's showing up for you now. So there's no striving necessary. And if you find out that maybe there's more room for growth with whatever experiences happen. That's fine. It's okay. So yeah, again, it's just this like deep permission to divest, to offer yourself deep self-acceptance, and to trust in the work that you've already done. This isn't a time to prove anything. It's just a time to be as you are. All right, that's where I'm going to leave you for today. I hope that if you are celebrating any holidays, that they are pleasant and enjoyable. And I am going to be taking a break for the next couple of weeks, so I will see you in the new year. And until next time, I'm wishing you well. Namaste.